Thank you all for your support of Indie Agency News. Let's meet an indie agency. Let's head out to New York and Los Angeles, as I understand it. These are our friends at Glow, a very, very, very interesting agency. Welcome and thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us, Doug.
Let's kick off with some data points. Let's be all corporate and whatnot. Tell me about when the agency was founded.
24 years ago this past May, so heading into our 25th year.
Now, it evolved. So the agency clearly evolved. And Howie, we're going to talk about your music background there in a second because we got some gold and platinum records back there. But talk about the evolution of the agency.
So the agency, like I said, started 24 years ago. It was very well known in entertainment circles for creative, for a lot of display media, a lot of app builds. The two founders, Pete and Ted, were, and their managing partner, Mike, were three people that I became very close to professionally. We shared a lot of clients. I was at the time running a digital shop in the city, and we would bring them to the table for a lot of the creative, or they would bring us to the table for a lot of the ideation, the strategy, the thinking. And about 11 years into my 12-year run at the prior agency, I decided it was time for a new challenge. And I wanted to either start my own company if I had that opportunity, or find a company that did not have strong social offering, but had a strong base and a strong client base. And really connecting and valuing the way Pete, Ted, and Mike saw the world, saw business. I thought it was a really good place for me to land if I could pull it off. Right. And we met early on and spent the next couple of months brainstorming and plotting. I left past agency, joined Glow, and so the services evolved immediately. I brought in a real strong social practice, and then even since then we've evolved. Our creative and strategy are stronger than they've ever been. We built out departments that in the past we might not have had the opportunity to, PM an account as an example.
Right.
We're one group. We split that, but yeah, we've evolved tremendously over the last 24, but the last 12 years too.
Well, I think a lot of agencies have. Let's be honest.
those that are still here, yeah.
Right. So Ellie and Maggie. Now, Ellie, you're in Los Angeles.
Yes,
Maggie, where are you?
I'm in New York, in Brooklyn.
You're in Brooklyn. Okay, excellent. So every agency, and Howie's touched on this a little bit, every agency does a lot of things really, really well. But what would you say the agency is best known for? And I want to kick it either to Ellie or to Maggie on this one.
I think, maybe we can answer in tandem, but I think a couple of things. I think creative innovation. I think, historically in the space, a lot of things that Glow's done, a lot of award-winning work that really pushed technological creative boundaries. I think in more recent years, I think really interesting creative thinking, fandom building. Glow's behind a lot of revivals of fandoms for shows and IPs. You might not be familiar that it was Glow, but I think really just getting to the heart of what drives fandoms, what makes people feel things, what makes people interested in things, whether it's a show or a movie or a product, and then finding a way to tap into that culture or subculture, and then really successfully marketing that in a creative way.
Maggie, what do you have to add to that?
I mean, obviously I co-sign everything that Ellie just said, but I also, what really attracted me to the agency was just, how core relevance is to what we do. I think, it's an agency that's had its roots, yes, in a lot of social, a lot of entertainment, but essentially all of that, to me, what that means is that you basically have to earn people's attention. So it's become, a really powerful, creative, culturally, driven place that makes really cool work.
Yeah. And we've touched on a couple of things. So you talked a little bit about the core. But what would you say are 3 core strengths if you had to kind of go rat-a-tat-tat? That's a jump ball. Whoever wants to grab that.
I'll take it.
Go for it.
Go,
Yeah.
Maggie. You look.
No, go for it.
I was going to sort of just take what the two of them just said and deliver it in a way where it's award-winning social and fandom building,
right,
for very specific brands. So you look at Westminster Kennel Club. We spent the last decade working with them and promoting the dog show for the last 10 years. We are the social AOR for Roku. We work NBA, HBO, the WNBA, Paramount Plus, MGM Plus. These are our clients of ours where, and then you bring back everything Maggie and Ellie just stated. It's award-winning social fandom building.
I want to touch on the Westminster Dog Show for a second.
Okay.
Do you remember Daniel, the golden retriever?
Sure.
No. He was robbed. Daniel was robbed.
Wow.
I'm sorry you feel that way. I there's people I could introduce you to. You could have that call. You could express yourself.
Our golden retriever, it took her weeks to get over that.
No. Daniel, you haven't gotten over it yet.
Oh God, no. No, Daniel was robbed.
Scarred for life.
No, not scarred for life. But I thought that was just funny. No, it's very cool, and I love that there's specificity but breadth as well, right? And so what I really appreciate about the 3 of you, and then that extends also out to the agency. How have you been in the music business, Ellie? Clearly the creative side of this is, you're bringing such a good vibe to it. And then honestly, the LA thing mixing with New York is great. And then Maggie, strategy, whoo, that's no easy feat, especially in specifically where you are living right now, especially in entertainment. It just simply is, it's challenging, but also incredibly rewarding. Maggie, I want to talk to you a little bit about this though, strategically, because there's so much. Strategically, how do you think about breaking through and getting signal as opposed to noise?
Well, I think, obviously it's challenging, but what I, at least, for my team and the way that we look at it, I think it's always very people-centric or fan-centric if we're talking about entertainment, right? I think it's very easy to kind of want to look at all the data, all the sources, everything that's out there and show everyone what you've got. But I think, again, at the end of the day, what you're trying to do is make somebody feel something or, connect in some way. And so I think if you're very focused on what role you want to play in people's lives, what people need, what they're thinking and feeling, it becomes simpler, not necessarily easy, but simpler to strip away some of that noise.
Right.
I think what attracted me to Glow and what, I really love working with this team is that, as an independent agency, a small agency, I think we don't have to follow any of the rules of like, you need to do it this way or that way. I think every time it's very, what is the problem at hand and what is the best way to get to it? And I think you can be more creative. You can, mix and match things that I really enjoy.
Right. And that's a good professional segue that I like into why you love being indie. So Howie, behind you, like I mentioned, you've got these gold and platinum records. You worked in the indie label space a lot. So you have lived in the independent space for a long time. Why is it, why is being an indie important to the team and to being clients? And what did you bring in from your experience in music that you lean on? Because there are certain things when we go through our career. I was a morning show producer in radio. There are times I instinctively fall back on that and it becomes a reflexive thing. What were some of the things that you brought in as an independent music professional and how it informs the agency?
I think I was very driven by throwing ideas at problems, not throwing dollars at problems. So you really need to dig in and figure it out. I would say that that's something that I brought with me. And then the other thing for sure was my passion for fan base, my passion for, I look back at the artists that really inspired me as a kid growing up listening to music. And you had your one-hit wonders, you had, bands that people were fans of a song or two, and that wasn't really what I was interested in. I was much more interested and began to follow bands that had a lot more to them, and that was community. So when I look at social platforms today, in a way, it's the parking lot at the Grateful Dead show.
Right.
It's the evolution of that, and you oftentimes learn it's sometimes more what not to do than what to do. And when you have respect for community and you truly understand that, you really can build and nurture, or help to build and nurture. When, I look at, okay, so radio, trying to get a radio station to play a record, I worked with a lot of bands that didn't have the dollars behind them, had some fan behind them, that momentum. But what we tried to do was figure out workarounds to, well, I can't do this big promotion with the radio station, but maybe we could offer the band for free to the radio station. And all the ways we tried to get college airplay is the same way we tried to get commercial airplay. And it really worked. And I don't think you would have been able to do that if it were not for me being in an independent environment where it was really a lot of, well, what do you think? Passion, follow your heart.
Right.
And it led to creating ways of getting airplay. It led to creative ways of selling concert tickets. So I would say community and ideation versus big budget, spend money to make a difference. It really became, it was a little more authentic.
Yeah, and I think that's such a huge thing to grab onto internally as the agency, because there is a spirit that's through that. And even if you are working with bigger budgets, when you have that spirit running through, that can only be good for everybody. And we will talk about whatever happened to Duncan Sheik, but that's a different show for a different time. Ellie, I want to go over to you and let's talk about why a brand should work with the agency. What is, in your mind, the main agency or the main reason that a brand should work with Glow?
I think, there's a lot of great reasons to work with Glow, obviously. But I think that one thing that you get here, which I think is also intrinsic to the fact that we are an independent agency, and one of the things that draws me most to independent agencies is, our success is your success. If you hire Glow, we're not, Glow is Glow. We're not backed by some big holding company. We don't belong to a group, and we are very genuinely vested in accomplishing what our clients need to accomplish. And, it's personal for us. And you have a group of people, and I can say this, I think more so, and I've been at many agencies. I've been at lots of independent agencies too, but I think, people here truly care. They care about other people. They care about the clients, and they care about the goals. And I think you get like that heart, and leading with that heart really shows, and it shows in the results, it shows in the work, and it shows in the relationships that we build and grow and sustain. So I think that that's a huge part of it. Beyond, the obvious, me wanting to plug my amazing team, creative team. We've got insane talent at Glow, and talent team I'm really proud of and really excited to work with, on, like Maggie's team or in our account team, everybody's great.
Right.
But I think that it truly comes down to the attitude and how much people care, and how much we care to, truly make things that matter. And as Maggie mentioned, make people feel something, because what's the point if you don't? So.
Yeah, I like that. Let's move on to talent. That's another great segue there. I like how you're just letting me flow this in one to another. Maggie, I want to ask you this. Why should talent put Glow on their list? And you can look at that one from, and I'm trying to stall for you a little bit. But
great question. I mean, I can tell you there's a couple reasons, both ones that, I think what attracted me here as well as attracts people here now. I think is definitely, we have incredible clients. Honestly, we literally have the best clients in the industry. I'm sure lots of agencies say that. I think it's actually true with ours because of all the things that we work on are the things that we all love to watch at home as well. But then, on the other side, I think, no two briefs look the same on what we work on. So you're going to have the chance to work on, all kinds of different things, something that you wouldn't get a chance to somewhere else, which I find just very creatively stimulating, right? Which is that anytime, we're the type of agency that our clients come to saying, we don't know how to figure this thing out, but can you help us with a solution to X problem? And you get to work on that. But then next month you might be on something completely different. So, if you're someone that is, creative, entrepreneurial, and want to work on stuff that matters, that's, I feel like blows the place for you.
I like that. I like that point of view.
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
You can. Yeah.
It's Doug's show. I don't want to.
Whatever. No, it's your show.
Away from. I think that when you look at we're looking for talent with a real entrepreneurial spirit, right? And when you find people with an entrepreneurial spirit, at least in my experience, they don't want to come in with everything dotted and crossed. They really want to put their name on something. So we have really made an effort to have policies and structure, but not too many and not too much, so that you can come in and create that. And I think that really attracts a certain type of person. It retains a certain type of person, and it really encourages that person to just be them. Let your freak flag fly. And I think that is what's given us a collection of some awesome people to work with different points of view and all that. So it helps on the marketing side. But if I were somebody looking at a place to go, which 12 years ago I was,
right,
it really inspired me to create a shop that allowed people to come in and make a difference, bigger, more than just executing flawlessly the campaign that you've put together, but really have a say in the direction the agency goes.
Speaking of flawlessly, you just flew through that term, let your freak flag fly, with aplomb. I never thought I'd say that word at all. Final question, and this is a bit of a thought exercise. You can all answer this. One of you, some of you can answer this. You have great clients. Maggie has made that very, very clear. Now, that said, which marketer do you want to give a shout out to? It could be an existing client, or it could be a client that maybe you want on your radar. I'm going to jump ball this one. Who wants to take that one first? Or do I have to nominate somebody? Oh, Maggie. Oh, Maggie's going first. It's fantastic.
Well, the one that's always been on my list, and it's more of like a league, as I keep saying, the WSL. I would love to work more in women's sports. We do some now, but I would love to pair up, because I just think that especially women's soccer is at such an interesting spot right now, where they're not just promoting obviously individual games, but really building a fandom and a movement that's growing exponentially. So that's number one on my list. But
Portland Thorns.
I have one.
Portland Thorns.
I have one too.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to, obviously I think A24 is a client that's on my list. So hey, Graham Retzik, CMO, head of creative marketing and brand at A24, would love a chance to chat with him. So.
I like that. All right, Howie.
I would say a brand that definitely inspires me frequently is Patagonia. I going back to the authenticity and just kind of hanging your hat on what you stand for. I think they live it. And as a consumer, I've always been intrigued by not just the quality of their clothing, but their place in the world, in culture, and and they put their money where their mouth is regarding the environment. And I just think that's a real special place.
Couldn't agree more.
So call me.
All right, real quick. I can see Anna Nalick. I can see Teddy Geiger. What are a couple more of those platinum and gold records behind you?
There's a Pink Floyd Echoes Greatest Hits package that I worked on. Joan Osborne, Hootie and the Blowfish.
Okay.
Were amazing. What else is up there?
Vanessa Carlson, right?
Oh yeah,
Vanessa Carlton. That was a blast.
Sorry, Vanessa.
Matchbox 20 is back there. But
of course, Matchbox 20 is back there.
And Duncan Sheik's not, but we could talk about
I just
next time we.
You know what? If you go deep in that record, and by the way, we still call them records. By the way, that record's solid.
Absolutely.
That record is very solid. And listen, with family in New Jersey, he's from New Jersey, so I just
So is Blues Traveler.
I know they are.
They're up there too.
I mean, it's just, John Mayer got his thing, and he's from Connecticut, but Duncan Sheik, don't ever sleep on Duncan Sheik. Okay, I'm just.
John Mayer grew up around the corner from where I live in Connecticut.
Yeah, and he went down to Georgia and did his thing, and so there you go.
And I saw him this summer with Dead and Company. Anyway, next time.
Yeah, next time for sure. Maggie, Ellie, Howie, my hair twin, thank you so much for joining us, and best wishes for continued success, everybody.
Thank
right
you.
back at you, Doug. Thanks so much.